Hello everyone, this is Arrow, and welcome back to Sundown Moon Up Podfics. Today we will be continuing Fuck Bullies, Chapter 2. Izuku could see everything. He knows what he said. What he doesn't know is why Shinsou is crying. He didn't want to tell the League of Villains and Shinsou his stupid problems. He knew Shinsou used to be bullied, and here he was, crying over being burned a couple of times. Finally, the last question came, and it was about Kachan. It didn't matter. He felt one for all tug, and his head snaps to the side, and he snaps out of Shinsou's quirk. He tries to ask Shinsou if he's okay. He shouldn't be crying. They get out of the situation alive. Izuku wouldn't let the League hurt Hitoshi without a fight. Kirigiri talked about a healer and disappears. None of the villains seemed to be injured. Maybe it was Dabi. His flames seemed to spark and his skin was smoking at the edges of where his staples met. Toga's question threw him off. "Are you suicidal?" Izuku glances at the League. He really looks at them. It seems like there was a fire inside all of their eyes. He couldn't really see the masked one's eyes, or the ones with sunglasses. The two of them were clenching their fists, though. Were they mad at him? He didn't mean to anger them with his silly words. He wasn't really abused. Kachan was just playing around. They were just playing. Deep down, he knew he was lying. It wasn't Kachan's fault. Izuku leans back in his chair. They had to be angry with them. They knew Kachan was at the sports festival. They knew Kachan was the sports festival winner, and they knew he wasn't that bad. With his powerful quirk, there was bound to be a few accidents growing up. Those accidents just happened to involve Izuku being pinned to the ground while Kachan's quirk was going off into the back of his head. Those accidents just happened to involve Kachan hitting Izuku too hard and he broke his wrist. They just happened to involve Kachan telling Izuku to die and almost killing him a couple of times. They just happened to involve all of Kachan's friends pushing him down the stairs, destroying his stuff, telling him to die, picking him up and flying him so high that so when they let him go, he fractures his ankle and breaks his arm. It wasn't their fault. He wasn't tough enough. What? Of course not. Izuku bites the inside of his cheek. He hasn't been suicidal in a whole 2 weeks. Those times he just sat on the roof and thought about jumping were nothing. The time he did jump off the roof was nothing. The times he grabbed a razor and pressed it to his hip was nothing. Izu, you don't have to lie to us. We're all friends after all. Toga's smile was feral and scary. Her golden pupils were narrows into slits. I'm not lying. Hitoshi didn't look convinced. The tears just kept falling from his tired eyes and down his cheeks. Izuku wanted to reach out and hug him. Maybe we shouldn't push this, the one with sunglasses suddenly spoke. They raised their head again and Izuku briefly saw their puffy eyes behind the sunglasses. No. Shigaraki marches in front of Izuku. I want to hear this. Are you suicidal? No. A hand reaches out for Hitoshi. Shigaraki continues to glare at him. Don't lie to me. It's simple. Be the truthful good hero and say the truth. Don't, I'm not. Hitoshi's shoulders shake. Izuku, are you lying? Shinsou, The fog clouds his mind, and he goes numb. Hitoshi was using his quirk on him again. I'm sorry. I know it's not right to push someone or to use my quirk like this, but if you're suicidal, I can't let you die. I can't. Hitoshi's voice rang through his head. Are you suicidal? No. There's a brief pause before Izuku answers. Yes. Hitoshi stops using his quirk and Izuku bows his head. I'm sorry. Izuku doesn't say anything. He stays silent and waits for Shigaraki to kill him or to kill Hitoshi. All the villain does is kneel down. That's all we wanted to hear, you brat. He reaches out and pets his hair with his pinky raised. Twice sat down at the bar. Fuck, this isn't what I thought we were going to be doing today. Today sucks. Izuku doesn't flinch when Tomura gently raises his head. You remember those bullies? I take it nobody did anything. Izuku stays silent and just stares. I'm going to take that as a no. Tomura lets go and walks over to Toga. You remember those names, he said? Toga bounces on her heels. Yep, especially that Bakuho one. Good. I don't care if our informants are busy. Squeeze out all the information on those other idiots he mentioned. Don't do anything to them. What? But can't I just... No. We'll deal with them later. Toga huffs and crosses her arms. Shigaraki goes behind the bar and grabs 2 bottles of water from the mini fridge below the bar. He hands them to Dabi. Write down all those names in your phone. Okie dokie. Toga digs into her pocket for her phone and sits down on a stool. Dabi walks over to Izuku and Hitoshi. Spinner. Spinner rushes over and grabs one of the bottles of water. They both uncap them and hold them out to the 2 boys. We didn't do anything to them. With all that crying you're doing, you're gonna get dehydrated. Dabi gestures to the tears running down Hitoshi's face. Izuku barely glances at Spinner. Please drink. The 2 boys hesitantly drink some water. Lavender, are you in the same boat as Izuku? Shigaraki asks, as he has his head tilted to the side. Hitoshi vigorously shakes his head. I was bullied when I was younger, but I wasn't treated like... Izuku. He tried to tune them all out. It just wasn't working. The words kept echoing in his head. He wasn't suicidal. He was going to be a hero. He couldn't focus on the stupid issues that are in his past. Izuku, did your parents ever do anything to stop the bullying? Dabi asks softly. Izuku looks at the burned man. It wasn't bullying. Being hurt and burned isn't just playing around. That's bullying. You understand that, right? That's not normal. You didn't even... Kid, I burned the shit out of you, and you didn't even... Dabi didn't finish what he was saying. Compress puts his hand on his shoulder and pats his head. Dabi, sit down. Dabi obeys and runs a hand through his hair. I just want to know if his parents did anything. I know, but you need to take a step back and breathe. Compress pats his back and began walking over to Izuku and Hitoshi. The man kneels down and reaches towards Izuku. May I touch you? Izuku blinks at him. So, no? Compress takes his mask off and sighs. This is obviously a sensitive topic for you, and I'm sorry if we pushed you. Compress smiles at the boy, showing how mad he wasn't going to help anyone. Izuku blankly stares and tilts his head. You didn't push me. It seems like we did. It's nothing. Compress felt his eye twitch. It's not nothing. This is something very big. No one should be bullied. I honestly don't understand how anyone could bully you. Tomura said you were quite the heroic type. Izuku raises an eyebrow. He said what? He likes to talk about you. Shigaraki throws a hand at Compress. I do not! Spinner and the one with glasses start to laugh. Dabi smirks and bats his eyes. That Midoriya brat broke all of his bones and then turns around and fights Stain without breaking anything? Toga leans over Shigaraki's back and stretches. Oh, Izu is so strong. And did you see the way he fought and broken bones and all? Spinner dramatically falls to the ground. That Izuku is such a hero. It makes me sick. Oh, that Izuku. Everyone starts to laugh. Hitoshi tears finally stop falling, and Izuku watches as the league starts laughing. Shigaraki glares at Toga and Dabi. I hate you all. Compress rolls his eyes. Of course you do. Izuku shrinks in his chair. Compress glances at him. Why do you care about if my parents did anything? My parents didn't need to do anything. Izuku glares at Dabi and Compress. Blue flames spark around Dabi's hands as he slams them into the counter. What the hell does that mean? That abusive brat is at the top of UA when he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to be a hero. He's just... Toga wraps an arm around Dabi. Breathe. Izuku glares at Dabi. Kachan isn't abusive. What the hell do you mean when he almost made you leave your mom then? If he made you think about suicide, then that's fucking... I was already thinking about suicide. Chapter 3. He froze. I didn't mean that. I never... He tries to take back his words. Izu's eyes darted to meet everyone else's. Compress rises and stands. He brushes off his pants. Tomura, I understand that we kidnapped them with the intentions to kill them after, but I know. Shigaraki sighs. A purple portal appears in the middle of the bar. Everyone takes a step away, and Compress shields Izuku and Hitoshi. Kurogiri and another man walk out the portal. The misty man looks around. He sees Magne is hugging her magnet. Dabi's staples are smoking. Toga is hugging Dabi with her face hidden. Twice is sneaking towards the bar. Compress has taken off his mask and showed the upset look in his eyes. Spinner's eyes are covered. And Tomura... He hasn't seen Tomura look that calm in a long time. It was a deadly calm that he's only seen from... Did I miss something? Kurogiri glances at Izuku. The boy looks terrified. Horrified. Yeah, a few things. We're keeping these two. Tomura slammed his hand on the counter and gets up. He walks over to the other man next to Kurogiri. He grabs him by the throat in a quick flash of movements. Fix him or you're dust. The man reaches up and claws at Tomura's hand. Izuku and Hitoshi jolt in their seats. Shigaraki throws the man into Izuku. I got it. The man kneels down next to Izuku and reaches out. This might tingle. What are you... The man presses his hand to Izuku's chest. Izuku tenses and lets the tip of his toes and felt the tips of his toes and fingers become numb. The man in front of him changed. A few of his gray hairs fall to the ground, and the wrinkles in his face grew longer. Izuku tried to pull away. His shoulder heals up and a large scar remains. The man pulls away and falls to the ground. Can I go home now? Kurogiri wordlessly opens a portal for the man. They all watch as he disappears. Izuku glances down at his scarred shoulder. Thanks. Tomura glares and glances at Hitoshi. You said you were bullied? None of your bullies are in UA. No? Good. We can kill them if you want. No! Hitoshi practically leaps out of his chair. Twice perks up. I've got a question. I'm lost. Kurogiri gets behind the bar again. What is it? What are we going to do next? Shigaraki said we're keeping them. Twice skips over to Dabi and Toga and joins the hug. Dabi tries to shrug them off. We're going to UA. Tomura spoke through clenched teeth. I'm dusting UA. Kurogiri opens another portal and a TV suddenly appears on the edge of the counter. Izuku's eyes widened. What? Tomura, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, what if the heroes catch us? Toga finally peeks out from behind Dabi. I don't care. The TV switches on. Tomura, I don't think you're thinking rationally, the TV spoke. Everyone looked at the static on the TV. But Sensei, they let a bully become a UA superstar. He deserves death. You said I could destroy anything I don't like, and I want to destroy him. Tomura growls out and clenches his hand into balls at his sides. You cannot just storm UA. It is filled with heroes and mini-heroes. Not even including All Might. Even if that idiot is weaker than before, he could still take all of you down. The TV made a good point. Izuku tugs at the ropes around him. If he tried to pull them up, he could try and slip them over his head and maybe... He's damaged, Tomura points at Izuku. This society let him be damaged and they just moved on. He doesn't even think he was bullied. Compress puts a hand on Tomura's shoulder. The man shrugs it off and steps closer to the TV. He's damaged. We can make them suffer. Hit them where it... Let's think about this. You get to UA. You turn the gate to dust. And you get to the building. You turn that to dust. The heroes are on high alert. After you took 2 students from them, they are bound to notice you before you even touch the school. They will get their band of idiots together. Eraser will erase your quirks. All Might will appear and take you all down before you even have a chance to blink. The villains sat down, some at the bar, and others sat close to Izuku and Hitoshi. Tomura laid his head in his hands and groans. I'm starting to hate when you're right. The TV laughs. I know, but you have to think this over with logic. Relief flows through Izuku, and he shuts his eyes for a split second. Izuku Midoriya. His eyes snap up, and he finds the villain's eyes on him. Yes? I'm sorry. Having to see Bakugo get everything he wants after he's done can be difficult. A white flash of anger blinds him. It's not difficult. Kachan deserves to be killed. Slowly. The other bullies deserve the same fate as him. The TV sounded angry, almost annoyed. He bows his head and pushes his own anger down. He was making this worse. He needs to shut up and start thinking. You could have been a villain. The TV said that, and Izuku's mind blanks out. Hitoshi snarls, Shut up! No, thank you. Izuku's lip trembles. I wouldn't. You are used to being hurt. I wonder how many scars you have. Being burned over 2,000 times? That's gotta leave many marks, even if they were small attacks. The villains all stand up. Dabi is the first to walk over. Do you have scars? No. Tomura throws his hands into the air. I don't even know why we ask. You're just gonna lie again. Dabi reaches out and presses a finger down on the ropes. The ropes snap away as they are burned off. Izuku is yanked forward. Midoriya! Hitoshi screams and tries to jump at him. Dabi spares him a glare. Shut it. Dabi pulls Izuku to the bar and sits down. The boy is in front of him. Compress, can you hold him? Of course. Compress walks over and he leans next to Izuku. I'm sorry about having to touch you. I know you said no earlier. This will be quick. Don't worry. He places his hands on one of the boy's shoulders and one on the boy's arm. He made sure not to touch his fresh scar on the boy's shoulder. Izuku tenses. Dabi looks at him with cold blue eyes. Sorry about this. He reaches out and grabs the hem of Izuku's shirt. Izuku barely gets to react. Wait! His shirt is lifted and his skin is shown. A gasp rings out through the air. It sounded like Hitoshi. Izuku tried to pull his shirt back down. Let go! He swings it and hits Dabi in the chest. The scarred man didn't react. He just stares at his chest and stomach. Everyone was silent. Kirigiri was the one to break it. Oh my. Scars littered his skin. Hitoshi, Spinner, Compress, and Magne got a look at his back. Jagged scars ran down his back. It looked like he got stabbed. There were small scars where it looked like he was punctured or grabbed by something. The worst was the scars that covered most of his back and went to his shoulders. Those scars looked like grenades or fireworks went off behind him. Dabi, Tomura, Toga, and Kirigiri looked at his chest. Someone attacked him violently. Someone burned him so much that the scars just kept collecting on top of each other. Someone destroyed this boy. Bakugo had an explosion quirk. Anger fills them all again. Pure, feral rage blinds them. A hand pokes at Izuku's hips and he screams. He pulls away to get away from them. He pulls towards the door and Hitoshi. People are talking to him. Wait! Calm down. Sorry. Will you stop moving already? Purple mist covers his vision. Kirigiri was in front of him. Izuku, look at me. Focus on my voice. Remember to breathe. I understand you're stressed, but you need to breathe. Kirigiri holds out his hand and places it on Izuku's cheek. The boy's warm cheek met with a cold hand. Izuku almost melts at the cooling touch. He stops struggling and leans forward. You can't just poke someone's scars, Toga. Dabi let go of the boy's shirt and pats his head. But there were scars on his hips. I want to see them. Toga whines. Izuku stares into Kurogiri's golden eyes. A sigh fills the room. If this is just so you can get his pants off, Shigaraki started. No, I would never without asking him. This is serious. I saw more scars. Toga shook her head and stares at Izuku's hips. Can we just pull them down to his hips? Just a little. I didn't really get to see them. What if they were just stretch marks? For some odd reason, Spinner sounded hopeful when he said that. This is awkward, but I'll need to pull your shorts down just a little. Dabi spoke in a dull and uncaring voice. The green-haired boy squirms to get closer to Kurogiri. Compress holds him steady. It's just... Toga's hand latches onto his shorts and gives a small tug. Heel cuts are shown for all to see. They can see a few that are now scabs. Izuku's world was crumbling down. Those... Spinner pushes Toga's hand away and pulls Izuku's shirt down and covers the scars. Enough, enough, enough. Spinner pushes Compress away and wraps his arms around Izuku. Kid, life shouldn't have been that cruel to you. Toga doesn't hesitate to join the hug. Don't worry, Izu. We'll protect you from everyone now. Dabi's hand puts his hand on Izuku's head. We'll keep you safe. Tomura glances over at the group and at Hitoshi. Your family. Eraserhead and Present Mike. Do you want to return to them or stay? Because we will keep you safe as well. Nobody will harm you. Hitoshi blinks slowly and stares at Izuku. What about Midoriya? He doesn't get the same options as you. He stays. I'm not leaving him. Shigaraki started walking. Well, we're keeping both of them then. Hitoshi scoffs. The heroes will come. That's what I'm waiting for. Tomura flashes them all a sinister grin. Alright, that was the end of chapters 2 and 3 of Fuck Bullies by RandomWeirdCat. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.